Good morning, channel members. Welcome to the second channel live this month. The first time we painted this dresser, and as you can see, we had a hot mess situation.
We took it outside and started sanding it, and most of the paint just flaked right on off. Where it stuck good is where Jami had the DIY paint as the underlayer. That's where it stuck the best. So the whole thing has been sanded with 220 grit now, and it still is a little slick. We probably, were I doing this at home and really taking the time to prep it right, because it was so shiny and had been oiled for so many years, I probably would have done like a quick sand with 80 grit, and then whatever we painted over would cover any kind of like sanding scratches or anything like that, because 80 grit's a little heavy.
But that's okay, we're gonna get to it. So we decided today to go to the DIY paint. We'll probably still get some chippy layers because we do have some paint left on the dresser.
Yeah.
I actually don't hate how chippy it is, like it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it definitely looks old now, but at the same time, it's kind of more than it's easily sellable. Like it has to find the right person.
I feel like it's par for the course. The last few weeks we've just had like a million balls in the air and nothing has gone quite as planned. Like with the farmhouse, with this dresser, even after we did this dresser, we went live and we did all those transfers. That was a little bit crazy, but that's okay because sometimes business is about consistency and getting things done. So I have comments. Zeb's gonna take the lead on the painting. I'm still under the weather and not feeling 100%. So
I'm gonna get a brush for her because like I'll get 5 minutes into this and she'll get going.
Well, what are you starting with?
So I'm going to do Monet's Garden because we thought that these two greens, Monet's Garden and Salty Kiss in the DIY paint colors, would really play well with the colors that we have already on here that we used with the milk paint. So I was thinking, I'm gonna run this by Jami first because she is the ultimate decider of colors. I was going to do the base of the dresser in Salty Kiss and the drawers in a contrasting Monet's Garden to still kind of give us that two-tone, and then we'll see what kind of colors come through when we distress it. I don't know if, because last time I think part of our chipping problem was from the heat gun, so I don't know if we will heat gun it. We might just let it dry and we'll have to show you guys a picture of the end result because an hour's not quite long enough to let the paint dry and distress.
If I start looking like this, it's just because I don't feel good, so don't read anything into it. I tried to get all energized to get on here. I actually think, Zeb, no, I think you should mix some of, what are you doing? That's the wrong color. You were going to do Salty Kiss on the base, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would mix some Salty Kiss in Monet's Garden for the drawers, and I'll paint those.
So that it's not quite as contrasting.
Yeah.
All right, so I added, I would say probably about 2 ounces, and this isn't quite full. There's probably about 6 ounces in the bottom of this pint, maybe less, maybe 3 or 4 ounces. It's hard to say, but you know, we'll get a good.
You want to
mix that up?
Yeah.
We'll get a good kind of fun green color out of that.
I'm using my official mixing stir. It's this. What is this called? Screwdriver. I told you guys my brain is not running on all, and this is the worst time of year to get sick for a retail salesperson. Like between the website and the shop, we have so many things going on for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. I had all these plans of projects I was gonna get finished for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, and looks like customers are just gonna get what's already done.
It's, you know what, there's a lot in the shop right now, so it'll be
yeah, the
okay.
shop's pretty full. Luckily we had like a decent haul last week of things that didn't need to be done, so those will go out. I do want to make some more Christmas ornaments if I have time. Maybe I'll bring all the supplies home and get the kids going. They're all home for Thanksgiving break next week. All right, let me wipe off my mixer here. I will respond to comments here in a little bit. So if you guys have questions for us about Black Friday or Small Business Saturday and how that goes in your business, go ahead and comment below. I'll kind of give you guys a detail of what we do for those because I feel like you guys still have time if you haven't planned anything that you could pull a rabbit out of the hat. You probably should have planned a few weeks ago, but if you didn't, let's talk about Small Business Saturday and Black Friday. So here at the shop, what we are doing is on Black Friday, we're competing with big box stores. So the reality is we probably won't get as many people in the store. So I had to have like a really awesome sale. And so we are doing 20% off my entire shop, no exclusions, which does cut into my profit margin. However, that being said, we'll probably get a good turnout, and I have enough profit margin built into all my pieces that even if I give them 20% off, I'll make up for it in volume, because we will get a significant amount of regulars that will show up. The way we're going to let everybody know about what's going on in the shop is we have an email list. So we will send out an email, and it will tell people what's going on.
Yeah, we keep an email list at the front desk when people are checking out. If they're looking for things or they want to keep up with what's new in the shop, they can put their email list on there, and we send that out, what is it, once a week?
No, maybe not once a week, every few weeks. We have a separate email. So we have an email list for our website, and then we have an email list just for the shop. The email list just for the shop is things that are going local, on the website usually will tell people about what's going on in the shop and what's going on the website. So we're doing that. And then on Small Business Saturday, I feel like Small Business Saturday is the day of the year you give people like the support your local shops, and they come out in drones. So it's good to have a few good things going on. So we've got a make and take going on. We're going to offer, we have some quite a few leftover trucks from our grand opening.
Yeah, we tried to sell them on the website, and quite a few have sold on the website, but I made hundreds. I made like almost 300 of them.
Yeah, we have a lot, so we're going to do those. Everybody can make an ornament. Then we're going to do 20% off of paint supplies. I like to keep Friday and Saturday different. So everything in my supply room is 20% off, and then we're going to do a dozen mystery items that are 50% off. So I'll make sure that the items that I mark on 50% off are things that I'd really like to sell, that I have, a 75% profit margin on, so that I'm still making plenty of money. And that's what I'm doing for Small Business Saturday. I've already set up an event page and started promoting that, so that way people will have it on their calendar. So if you haven't set up an event page, definitely do that. And then I also am working with Molly's Forget-Me-Not. She was the previous owner of this shop. She's just down the street now, and we are going to be passing out flyers for each other's shops. So if somebody goes into Molly's, she'll pass them out a flyer to my shop, and likewise, if somebody comes to my shop, we'll pass them out a flyer. That way,
it's like a shop hop.
Yeah, a little shop hop situation going on. So that's what we're doing at the store. We'll also have some Christmas treats going on and holiday music, really make it a party. So that's in the retail shop. So those are things that you could still set up and do even last minute. And here's the thing, if you're a retailer, like we're a retailer for DIY paint, that paint cannot be marked down online. The only way you can get DIY paint on sale is if you go to a store. So what that does,
and if the retailer is putting it on, because it's not like a a required thing to have a sale on Black Friday.
No, and DIY paint does not offer us a discount, so we do take a small hit on that. But because people can't get that sale online, it will bring people into the shop that sometimes order online because they're like, oh, it's worth the effort.
We've had people come from out of state and stock up.
Yeah, so people will come in, and they'll come with a big old list of stuff they need. And the caveat to all of my sales in the shop, because they're so good, is that people must come pick, even not the DIY paint, everything has to be picked up in shop. And the reason for that is because when I ship, that's man hours. So if I'm already offering a discount on everything in the shop, I can't also afford to pay somebody to ship, especially things that aren't regular items. Regular items that we ship on a regular basis are easy, but the odds and end items in the shop are not as easy because they're unique items, so they have to come in. So that's what we're doing with that. And then online, we will announce, we never announce our online sales until the evening of Thanksgiving, because otherwise nobody will shop all week, and we can't afford that. We can't afford for everybody to wait till that day, because then we're taking a hit and just doesn't make good business sense. So on Thursday night, the email will go out and we will offer sales Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Cyber Monday we'll have complete different sales. So there'll be things offered Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Obviously DIY paint won't be on sale, but we will have a few other things. I can give you a hint that the stencil that will go on sale is a stencil set that we've never offered before. So it's brand new. So that's something that's exciting to do if you're doing an online sale. Offer something that's new that they can get after it, but there's like an introductory Black Friday price, and that's something we have coming out. So that's insider information that nobody else knows, that the only stencil on sale will be one that has never been offered before, and I'm super excited.
Our retailers will also have that going.
Yes, our retailers, we gave them the same deal. As a wholesaler, I always want to offer, if I'm going to offer a sale, I want to also extend it to my retailers in case they would like to offer it. So I am passing that along to them, which is really fun. And what was I going to say? Oh, another really great idea is if you're offering sales on products, make videos that correspond with that. So we will be shooting a video of Friday's Black Friday stencil today or tomorrow, and Friday morning that video will go up. So that's going to increase the hype for that Black Friday sale and get people to order. So it's all about getting people excited, creating video. We don't, we can't compete with the big box stores that are offering 50 and 75% off of products because we don't get them that cheap. But what we can offer is a good discount along with some great information that gets people excited about the products that we have on sale. So now that I've said all that, I'm going to paint this drawer and then I'm going to go read your comments and answer questions about Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. I do have to say that if you don't offer a sale on those days, you are missing out. And it's a really good way to capitalize on what can be a slow time because people aren't spending as much money. They're buying Christmas presents for their kids. So there's only so much money that everybody has to spend in the Christmas season, and if you're not offering a sale, you'll probably lose out on some of those. And you don't have to offer it online, like DIY Paint doesn't offer it online, but a lot of the retailers do have sales in their store on various items. So let me...
Trying to paint in a small space and still show you.
Alright, that's all painted. Let me get this lit
So we
here.
also, this time of year, really push gift cards too.
Oh yes, we have gift cards in the shop and online. We actually have gift cards in the shop, I'll show you guys in a second, that are through Square, that are just like the gift cards you get at the big box store. They have a barcode and it keeps track and slides, and it's not like we have to have a separate system where we write things down like a lot of boutiques have. And I love it because it keeps things organized and people love a really nice gift card.
Well, that's how we did trade. We have a contractor that wanted to do trade with us, and we got our water main put in for trade, and so we just gave him a gift card, and then he can come into the shop and do whatever, or he can give it to his wife, and she can come in, and when that's all up, we don't have to keep track of it. They spent what we had in trade and what we agreed on, and we're done, and we don't have to, there's no like he said, she said, or keeping track of paperwork. It's awesome.
All right, so I'm going to read some comments and go questions. Cobweb Afternoon. I thought the DIY paint can't go on sale. It cannot go on sale online. You can retail it in your shop on sale. So there's that. Are you doing free gift wrap and they use your stencils? No, because on Friday I expect that it's going to be super crazy, so it's not something we really have space for. And on Saturday we're offering the free ornament. So we didn't do that this season, maybe next year. Sherry Canestasis, I don't know why I can never get your printable. So you have to click the link to the printable and then you have to put the code in and it'll come up and you have to save it. So are you not finding the community tab? Because it's on the community tab, you have to scroll back. So let me know. I'll see if I can help you. If not, email customercare@jamirayvintage.com. And Caitlin can help you.
All right, so these are the little truck ornaments that we had at the grand opening, and I made so many, we had so many left over, because not everybody that came in did the make and take, and I had way more than we needed just in case, because I wanted everybody to have a chance to do it. This is one that Mariah painted, and she is really meticulous and did a lot of detail on this. So, I mean, sky's the limit. You could do them solid color or whatever, but just something fun like this is pretty simple and easy. She even did a license plate with our Jami Ray Vintage bird on there. And then this is what they look like, just raw. So it's just kind of a fun thing that we've got. So people will be able to make these again when they come in. And then we'll have this as a sample because we don't actually have Mariah here because she was here for the grand opening, but she's not coming up for Black Friday. So we'll just be like, look, you can make your truck look this cool if you take a minute.
Rachel says, can someone text my husband to get me a gift card for JRV? So we actually have a new thing. We have a gift list on our website, and you can click all the things you want, and you can email it to people. Caitlin just added that, and people have been using it a lot, which I didn't even know it existed. Caitlin did that. Somebody said I should go to the doctor. I actually just have a cold, so I'm doing good.
So this is separate from what she had the other week.
Yeah,
This is different.
something new.
She had one thing, got better for like 3 or 4 days, and now she's had this.
I wonder if it's because I go to the gym and there's like we sanitize everything, but I bet you there's a lot of germ sharing.
I got so sick when I worked retail at Discount Tire. Every year I get sick 3 or 4 times in the winter, just from shaking people's hands and everybody coming in and.
And I am here way more than you are, so that's also possible that I'm getting sick that way.
Keep your hands washed.
I'm not usually a sick person, and I'm not one to go to the doctor unless I'm like severe because I don't take meds.
All right, give me just a
Drink
sec
lots
here.
of
I'm
water.
gonna fly you in. Some of this texture is really coming through, and it's activated the milk paint a little bit up underneath in a couple spots, and it's kind of getting a fun look going on. So even though we may not see a lot of these other colors until we distress, you can still kind of see where they were.
Oh, you're gonna totally knock that over my
Sorry,
head.
I needed more room.
I know, but just tell me. All right, if you have questions about Black Friday or Small Business Saturday advertising, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them for you.
A lot of it's just done through Facebook and talking to people. We do have flyers that we're printing up, right?
Huh?
We do have flyers.
Oh yeah, we have flyers. Where I just talked about that with Molly.
Oh,
Remember you
I was busy painting.
All right.
Okay,
Try
let me-
oregano oil. Yes, I know oregano oil is gross, but that's what Debbie always uses, and she always tries to get me to go into that. All right, let's not talk about me being sick. I'll take care of it. Let's talk about Black Friday. Another thing that you guys can do, one of the things we do is we go to local nurseries and we pick up greenery. We have a bunch of real wreaths in the shop. Not a huge profit margin, but we buy them for like $9.95 and sell them for $22.95. People love picking up that, and it adds a really good Christmas vibe to your shop. Make sure that you guys are having plenty of Christmas decor. We have lots and lots of videos on things you can make that don't cost a lot of money to help decorate for Christmas. You want to add those into your shop.
So you can kind of see as it's drying out here, the texture that's happening.
Well, I think the darker green in one coat is good. You'll have to do 2 coats of the lighter green.
Yeah, and I put it on light so that it would dry. You can see on the top here, it's drying pretty quick. I've got to do this other side that you guys won't be able to see as I paint it because I just can't get the camera over there. And not forget this foot. But even if I forgot that foot, it's still got that other milk paint on there that's kind of close and kind of gives it a fun contrast. But the texture, I think, even though most of this chipped off, we still have that been painted a bunch of times look, even though now we're just kind of going one solid color instead of doing any blending. Any questions, Jamie?
Carts and Millie said, do you know the name of the Shopify app that Caitlin used for the gift list? I don't, but let me text her on my personal phone and I can ask her. I know she's picking up her boys from school. I'll ask her real quick. Anything that makes shopping easier is better for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, so that's always a good thing. Anything that can make their shopping life easier and get them to spend more money and remind them of your business, because I feel like, especially around this time of the year, businesses that aren't normally like advertising to people are constantly putting stuff in people's face, and there gets to be so many different things that sometimes they're like, oh, they get overwhelmed, right? So you need to just make shopping easy for them. That's why instead of having like 500,000 different price points and sales on a million different things at the shop, I just said, come in on Friday, 20% off of everything in the shop. That makes it easy for people to understand, and it gets them excited because it's an across-the-board discount. Even though it's not like super great, like, you know, few things that are 75% off, they know they can come in and they can get 20% off everything they want. And I haven't advertised until this week what was going to be on sale, but people knew it was coming, and we actually had people last week that came in the shop and made a list. All the things they wanted. I didn't know that until somebody messaged me. All right, I'm gonna message Carts Amelia, messaging Caitlin.
So one of the nice things, I mean, we don't have doorbusters, but like Jamie said earlier, the volume of people that come in will do it. And if you don't have, let's say you don't have a brick and mortar store or even an online store and you're just selling out of your house, you can still do fun things. Like you can advertise, like one year we did like a discount on custom
What's the
work.
wrong color?
I know, I'm just hitting it.
Oh yeah, if you need to make money for the new year, one of the great ideas if you do custom painting is you can say, if you book on Black Friday, we'll offer 20% off of all custom jobs with a 50% deposit paid for the new year. You know, limited spaces available or what. Oh, phew, sorry. Oh, that was embarrassing. Another thing that you can do too is if you've had pieces that haven't sold for a while, you can go on Marketplace on Black Friday and big letters type Black Friday sale and then item on sale until such and such time and date for this percentage, and then just make sure that after the sale you take that price down. You totally don't have to have a retail store to offer Black Friday deals. And you could do a pre-Black Friday. You know, if you're wanting to sell stuff now, you could be like, get your, you know, pre-Black Friday sales. This is what's going on. You know, there's always a million different ways to get people excited about spending money. Everybody said bless you. Sorry, I don't think I've sneezed on camera. I'm not a big sneezer.
You made it a cute one though.
Well, I try to sneeze cute. You know, life's short, sneeze cute. I feel bad you're just painting and I'm just sitting there.
I'm done with the first coat. So now we need to find something else to paint while we wait for this to dry. Because I don't know, do you think I should heat gun it or do we risk it?
I feel like if you heat gun it, you're gonna activate the paint that's already there.
Yeah. So it's already got a little bit of chipping. Let me show you this texture
We
close.
could give them a shop tour if they haven't seen the shop in a while, and they could ask questions about things in here.
So right here is what I'm trying to show you. That's where some paint, it kind of got bubbly, but it's as the DIY paint dries, it reactivated it. So it's just gonna sit back down, and it's got like this, when we distress it, it'll probably chip right there. But so difference between the two colors, and we did add a little bit of Salty Kiss to Monet's Garden to kind of brighten it up just a touch. But I think the two-tone on these is going to be really fun. Oh, you know what I can do? Here, you go start taking them around. I'm going to go get the big fan out of the basement, Jamie.
Okay.
You can take them on a quick tour of the shop and kind of show them some of your holiday displays and stuff. Do you have enough of those up?
Sure.
And I'm going to get my big fan out of the basement that we use in the spray booth, and that'll dry this right up.
I got distracted.
I can see it.
Sorry.
All right. Tour away. You're on your own for a minute. I will be back.
Oh, whoa, that's close. Okay. Here, switch the camera around. How do you switch the camera around? All right.
I will be back in just a couple minutes, and then I'll film you.
All right, guys. We're going on a little tour. Live situation here. All right. This is backstock. Not very exciting. I don't even have the lights on. Ta-da! All right, so if you guys haven't been in the shop for a while, these are the wreaths we were talking about. So these are, we buy them for $9.95 and sell them for $22.95, and they're real live wreaths. And we just try to make sure that the pricing is good. If you saw our Waste Not Wednesday a few weeks ago, these are all finished. I don't think I've shared that. If you guys have questions, let me see if I can pull up comments. Nobody's asking questions. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Oh, great job on the shop. Oh, gotta go to work. All right, Ampers and Unique, you can go to work. All right, so there we've got little just touches of Christmas all over the shop, but we also have plenty of items in here that are not Christmas. These breadboards are big sellers. Zeb makes those. We always sell a ton of bar stools. This one right here is specifically Christmas, and my plan is that if that doesn't sell, I'll just repaint the top and put a different stencil on it, because that's a little bit big to store until next year. We've actually sold quite a few Christmas items from this display, so I've been reorganizing it. Now that I'm a pro at driving cross country, hubby doesn't know yet, but next year road trip to Utah. Kim's on top of that one. Let's see, I also try to just incorporate green and red. So like this isn't necessarily Christmas, but it has kind of a Christmas vibe because it's green. This is kind of a fun cabinet. We like to display all of our white stuff together. How do you ship out paint? So we ship out USPS for paint, Rhonda, and it works fine because our paint is not toxic. It's all natural, so it's not like regular paints. Jeanette, yes, we do pick up the wreaths locally here, but you can see different growers. Sometimes you can pick them up at grocery stores or whatever, carry them. But yeah, we do pick them up locally.
I can film you now.
Are you still filming? That's okay. I'm just going across showing them what we got going on. Ornaments. Oh yeah, flip the other light on.
One thing we did do is we discovered where the light was.
Hold on, Zeb. They can't hear you. You're super far away. All right, Zeb, you want to carry it and you can talk to him?
Yeah. So one thing we did was it gets really dark here. About 5:15, the sun is over the mountains, and by 5:45, it is completely dark. So what we did was right here, I don't know if you can see it through the window. We figured out where the light switch was for those because there's a light switch over in this other room that we had no idea what it did. It's hiding over here in the corner, and it runs those lights. So we made sure that those were working, and it brightens up the whole shop really, really well, and it makes it visible from the road. And then we also got, I'll show you, it's out in the snow. We also got that light there. It's solar powered, and it runs for about 8 hours on a charge, and that shines up on our Jami Ray Vintage sign because we are still open during the weekday when it gets pitch black. What are you doing? Are you responding to comments?
No, I'm responding to a customer.
Oh, well.
You got this.
No, I don't got this. I don't do the shop nearly as much as you.
Oh, you
We have a fun little display over here with a vintage suitcase, and we've got some Santa stuff going. That's a Dollar Tree Santa, and is all the rest are the berry picks and
Yeah,
things?
everything's from the Dollar Tree, but we've got a few Christmas decor items, but also, like I said, we keep like items together. So if somebody comes in and they want copper colored pans and they have somebody they need to shop for, they're all together. We like to keep them that way so somebody doesn't miss something that's on the other side of the store.
And this will probably go away.
Yes,
after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving, this will go back in the dead body closet. You guys have ever seen my videos where I show you that? I take all the Thanksgiving, rather than mark it down $1,003, after Black Friday, anything that's Thanksgiving or fall colored will go away till next year. And I do the same thing with Christmas. I have storage, so it doesn't really matter. And because I sell vintage items, it's not like what I do goes out of style. It's, it's old to begin with.
Well, and then we have this bench, and the bench is for sale, but right now it's kind of being used as a display for these mirrors and frames and the pewter pitchers.
Well, these are not pewter, they're silver.
Oh, those are silver.
I keep the silver together. I keep my gold frames together because sometimes people are coming in looking for.
And then we sneak in some Christmas with the sign.
A little ornament, a little Christmas.
So everything's here. Let me turn the light on in here. We don't open until Friday this week because of the holiday. We're closed Wednesday and Thursday.
So our numbered dresser that was here sold. So now we've got a new display. This is actually going to get a new look. This is kind of a hodgepodge of the dresser sold Saturday and we haven't been open since then, and I just threw stuff together. But this display will be the first display that people come in and see. So this will probably get a zhuzhed up look. It's a little bit white and bland right now. I think I'm going to leave this white dresser here, but I was actually thinking about moving some more colored items in here and probably move out those succulents. But, I got to move things around. Tomorrow will be the day that everything gets zhuzhed up and really stocked nice and full.
Hi, Terry. Welcome to the channel. So we also have the jewelry display. This doesn't really change much. We just kind of leave that, but right here next to it, let's see if it's too bright outside. It might show you. There you go. Maybe we'll come try from this angle. It's adjusting for the light weird. We do have a stacked end table situation going on with a basket underneath, and then the little Santa, which we didn't paint. We just thrifted him. Or is that Father Christmas? I don't know.
Well, one of the tips and tricks when you're stacking, we've got felt pads. So when we stack furniture, we put felt pads underneath it because you don't want to scratch your piece underneath.
Yeah, most pieces of furniture, even with factory paint jobs, are not designed to have other pieces of furniture stacked on them.
Well, especially when they're painted, so we've got that in there. Let's see, what else do we have going on here?
Your little garland up top, and then all over the place, just pops of red and greenery here. And I feel like it gives it a fun Christmas vibe without being too much in your face, like over the top.
So Vintage Vibe says, thank you for the advice. I just put all the items in my booth 15% off on Black Friday, and she's making signs. So that's also important. We didn't mention that, but we will have signs made, printed out throughout the shop, letting people know about the sale, and I'll probably have a sign on the door. So that, and I'll make sure that my employees know to everybody comes through the door, welcome, thanks for coming on Black Friday. Everything in the shop is 20% off, no exclusions. So if you do have a smaller retail store that you can have them say that, that's great. If you're in a big mall, maybe ask the mall owner if they will create a directory of all the Black Friday sales, or if there's a way to help people know when they come through the door where they can find the sale items.
And then these are the bunt pans we did. They haven't sold yet, but we
Look cute.
we think they will after Black Friday. Most people don't decorate for Christmas until after Thanksgiving.
But here's the deal. We've been selling Christmas stuff for a while, but I had these pumpkins, those sweater pumpkins I made. The first year I made them, I didn't sell any sweater pumpkins. This year I put out all the sweater pumpkin sets, and every single set sold.
And it sold quickly.
They sold like super fast, so don't be discouraged if it doesn't sell one season. Somebody asked what are big sellers for us. We sell a lot of salt and pepper shakers. Butter dishes are big sellers. Jars, these canning jars, that we sell quite a few of those. Candles are a big seller. Soaps, these are the ones for France. They're a little bit more expensive, but people will buy them for stocking stuffers. But anything small that people can offer for gifts generally tends to sell really well. So rolling pins, milk glass, things like that sell really well. I'm trying to think. Candlesticks, we're really well stocked in candlesticks. Those always sell well in the holidays. People will pick them up for a holiday display, or they'll hand them out as gifts to people. So those are things to keep in mind. This is the time of year where you're definitely going to want to be stocked up on smaller items, because people aren't necessarily buying themselves new big pieces of furniture, but they're thinking about gifts for others or smaller decor items that they can bring in. So you want to make sure that you're well stocked, especially on Black Friday. People are spending a lot of money, but they'll come in and they'll buy a few different things here and there.
First rule of retail, sell your best profit stuff up high, and then the stuff that you make less money down low.
Well, for me, I just put my favorite things up high. Like, this is my new favorite piece in the shop here. So I put the things that I feel like are prettiest up tall, things that are big. So I'm actually going to go through the shop tomorrow and look at each individual item and say, okay, which item do I feel like looks best? And then I'm going to make sure those are up top so people are buying them. Another thing we sell quite a bit of is the jewelry. So I will, I don't think I have any more necklaces, but I'll make sure my earrings are restocked. We have, it's all used, and then we clean it with alcohol. Our prices are really low, and people will come in and maybe they won't buy anything else, but they'll come pick up a piece of jewelry because we have it really inexpensive. And I can usually pick up a ton of jewelry for like 20 bucks. So this is kind of like a loss leader. I'm not making a ton of money, but over time, it does generate quite a bit of revenue, and it doesn't cost a bunch to keep it up.
Well, what did you pay for all of that? Maybe 50 bucks for all of it when we first got started?
$25 for all the jewelry.
Still?
$25, yeah, for all the jewelry that I purchased. I had a follower send me a bunch of jewelry, and I restocked with that. But out of pocket, I'm 25 bucks.
Nice.
And we probably sold a couple $100s in jewelry.
And then we don't sell these. These are just for decor and to kind of give people ideas of what they can do with their stamps. Debbie did this while she was here, and it makes the shop have a really fun kind of Christmassy vibe to it too.
Yeah, so we will also get our ornaments that we made out of cardboard, and we will get some more finished hopefully by Friday and get our display out, because if you sell a product, whether paint, molds, stencils, stamps, any product you sell, you should have that displayed in your shop. Not only show them how to use it just as decor items, but some things that you have for sale, because a lot of makers come into my shop and they say, hey, you know, Jamie's selling this with this product. If I buy it, it will make me money. So that also entices people to come shopping.
I'm gonna have to retitle this. How to fix our paint mess plus shop tour
Well,
and
plus
Black
shop tour,
Friday
because
sale
we have to wait
ideas.
for paint to dry.
Then we have our crates.
All
We
of
actually,
these items are waiting for tags, so these are all the items left over from the haul this last Saturday. So I will get this all tagged and in the store. And then we finally finished this. If you guys saw our video on Saturday, that's all done. And every week I always have new stuff, so people come to see that.
and the crates, they sell a couple every week.
Yeah,
The first week we had
saw.
them, people were like, oh my goodness, they were brand new, like hot item, and we sold probably 20.
Yes, Judy, you can watch this video later. Just go back to the community tab and you can just click the link.
Yeah, we leave the links up so you can see them. The chapter, I'm going to try to finish that tonight on the channel member chapter. This month has been a struggle for me between working on the house and trying to be motivated to write.
And me being sick twice, that doesn't help. Could you share where I get my tags from? Yes, so the little tags come from Amazon. And the big tags, we just have a hole punch and I use them on furniture. The big scallop tags, it's just a hole punch in cardstock. So we make those ourselves. The little tags, we use so many of them, it's just not effective. And then the printouts, we use Square. So all of our inventory is put into Square and then it creates a UPC and we actually have a scanner. So on Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, my employees are not typing in things. Everything is in the system and they just scan it. It helps with accuracy as well as just making things move along faster because customers don't want to sit in line forever, especially if they're buying a ton of paint, that takes a while. And then we'll just have one code that they put in for 20% off and then that'll ring.
I think I saw a comment, someone asked about the brushes on the paint display over here. I can't remember who it was, but if you asked about that, I kind of saw it as it was flashing by on the screen. These just came with the pegboard sets that we got that have these hooks on them. It came with that set from Home Depot, and it's intended to be used for something different than that, but we used it for, yeah, it's like for like hanging screwdrivers and stuff in, but we used it for paintbrushes.
We keep it pretty full. We'll make sure it's fully stocked for Black Friday. I'll reorganize this, and you always want to make sure everything's pulled to the front. So this has kind of been manhandled by customers, but you always want to make sure that all of your items are pulled to the front on your displays, so that way people can see what's there. If it looks sparse, like there isn't enough, people will not shop. So you want to make, if you don't have enough paint to go all the way to the back, pull everything forward, no matter what it is, because then it looks more full. You want your displays to look as full as possible. So hold on just a second. Somebody said
Jean's having trouble getting stuff in her cart for the wish list.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. That you'll have to email Caitlin. So customercare@jamirayvintage.com. The jewelry that we sell is not vintage. It's just used.
I don't have the light on back there, but
Oh, yeah, we do have some. This is another way to show people how to use these stencils.
so like the stencils are here, and then these signs here are all done in stencils back in this little hallway. I think you guys have seen us do
Small Business
those.
Saturday is the day after Black Friday. Yes, so the day after Black Friday is considered Small Business Saturday.
Then we have this little display in the middle that always gets hit up pretty hard. And then that chair that we put the new IOD transfer on.
Yeah, the transfers are just right across here and people can see this on here, so it kind of gives them an idea of what it will look like on furniture.
We
I do
also-
plan on putting transfers up on the wall and behind this way because you do want to have things that don't necessarily get sold, that have the products on there. Like we have a transfer on the front door, we have stencils on the wall. That way, if the product sells, there's still ways to show display of that.
Well, and when we got the new transfers, we put all the new ones down here so they were easy to find.
Yes, and Rachel says, I'm having trouble selling stenciled stuff. Selling stencils, but nothing I've done. That happens. Sometimes our stenciled stuff sells like super quick, but if you sell those bar stools that we just showed you, Rachel, one of them I've had for months and months and it hasn't sold at all. But if it doesn't sell, repaint it, try another stencil. If you're selling something that's stencils, like you could restock, sometimes it's worth having in your booth just as a display, even if it never sells. So I wouldn't count that as a loss. As long as you're selling something, it's worth having it in your space so people can see what it looks like. Can I show you the new transfers? We actually have a video on all of them, but let's see if we have them.
It was last Wednesday.
This is the lemon drops. This here, I don't know if Zeb wants to come in close. We've got the Wanderer, the wallflowers here, ferns. This one's japonica. This is the entomology. The Affirma, this one's cool. It has a bunch of different typography on it. And
I don't think those small ones on the end are new.
yeah, this one is. And then this is the classic pots. There's 8 new in total.
Can you twist it so they can see?
Oh yeah, there you go. So we keep all the new products together. So you'll notice the new stamps, the 6 new stamps are right here. So if somebody's looking for new stamps, my employees can say, here they are. Same thing with the transfer. We put all the new transfers right here. I actually might, like I said, put your big items up where people could see them. I'm probably going to move all the new transfers up here and all these transfers down there. So that way the new transfers are like front and center. Same thing with my stencils. The Christmas is our most recent line, so they're all together. So people can clearly find the Christmas stencils. And with the molds, I'm going to reorganize these. They've kind of been gone through. But I'm going to make sure all the new molds are on one side and the older molds are on the other side. I'd love to have them displayed individually, but we just don't have space.
You know, we thought this little shelf down here wouldn't get used, and it kind of does hide away, but people still find the stuff pretty easily.
I pull the ink forward, and if people, I mean, you can see it. We sell a ton of ink, so it's not having any problems down there.
We still need to find a good solution. I just haven't had time.
Well, the reason why the shelf is down there is because we put it on top, then people can't pull stuff out of the basket. So I do want to move all the stamps over here, though, and move this display over there. So that'll happen before Friday.
All right, I think that's most of the shop. Let's go see if that's dry over here.
What's the most popular selling IOD mold? Bird Song, currently, and that one is sold out online. Oh, you got this.
I got the big fan up.
All kinds of dry. Oh, that looks cool.
It's like a world map again.
I know, you can see that this is still a little wet here. Maybe I'll come drop a second coat on that. Or should we just, I think it's a little streaky.
I feel like once you sand that though, and bring that other paint back through, it'll just work.
Okay, so we'll let these stay the way that they are.
I probably do need to do another coat of Salty Kiss on the dresser. You can see it's streaky here, which I might hurry and do that. Are you gonna try to hand sand one of these?
I could take it outside and use well, you could take it outside because it's cold.
Okay, why don't you start painting a second coat on this? I'm gonna go run the orbital over this. It's just 220 grit that I'll use. And I'm gonna do one of these drawers so you guys can kind of see what it's gonna look like. But even though we used 2 separate colors, oh, I do wanna show you this. And we have time. I'll show you in a minute once Jamie gets that second coat on there, what it looks like with the drawers in, because you can't really see a ton of the contrast, but it'll be noticeable once we put the drawers in there.
So we were kind of inspired. I don't know if you guys follow Sasha from Sweet Pickins. She has a hutch that has original green paint on it. And it has these colors, so that's kind of what we decided.
I'm gonna go set this one in the sun
You
here.
left this brush out, it's kind of stiff.
Oh, it was stiff before. It needs a downy dunk.
Yeah, if your paint brushes get stiff, you can soak them in Jami fabric softener overnight. Hopefully I'm not blocking the camera. I can't. That didn't put it to where I can see myself. But you can see the second coat's covering, but we've got a lot of great texture from the previous paint job, so it's not completely a bum deal because we're going to get that fun texture that comes through. I'll look up comments in a minute once I get this all painted.
Mostly they're getting your head right now.
Mostly they're just getting my head, sorry.
I moved the camera again.
Okay. I'm not running an all V8s. Stuff's $50, and we will sell it for $2.95. And we get asked about pricing a lot. Some people charge way more for their pieces. We honestly don't take that long to finish ours. So even at $2.95, we're making a good amount. I feel like you should charge whatever you feel like your time and your product is worth. If you're willing to ship your furniture, you can usually reach a bigger audience. we don't ship much. And if we
We've
do
started to ship a lot of small items.
yeah, we have started to ship small items out of the shop to kind of boost the revenue for the shop because it's a brand new store and we have a bigger following nationwide than we do here locally, and that's been actually pretty good. I'm trying to work out the kinks, making sure it's time effective. But once you get down with shipping, you really can open up your market base as far as furniture goes, or smaller items. Few tips on shipping furniture. I would only ship through UShip and make sure that the customer knows that you have to have the white glove service. That's where they insure and pack everything for you. And I just have my customer actually do it. I set them up with a UShip website and have them organize it, because a lot of times once people find out how much it costs to ship, they back out of the deal and then you're just spinning your wheels. So if they really want it, they'll figure it out, and sometimes I help them figure out the UShip website, but for the most part they figure it out themselves. I have shipped through UPS, but it's a little bit more expensive. So you, like the letter U, ship.com. Alright, I think Zeb took the comments, so I don't know how exciting this is going to be. He's outside sanding right now. I'm going to move this so you guys can see. I'm going to paint the top. Actually a little short. I'm not sure I can get up there. I don't think I can get up there. I don't know where he did with my stool. Hold on, guys. I know this is kind of boring. This is what happens when Zeb leaves me alone. Alright, now I got my stool. We get asked a lot if we have an eBay. We haven't done that yet. I have considered it for some of our more unique items that are worth a little bit more. And maybe we'll do that in the future, but for now, we have a separate email dedicated just to things that people can buy in the shop. It's LehighShop@JamiRayVintage.com, so it doesn't get mixed up with other emails. And I check it about once a day and respond to people and let them know how much it'll be for shipping, and then I invoice them directly through Square, which is our software for the shop. That way, for tax purposes, all the shop stuff is done through there. Sometimes people ask if they can PayPal, and I don't let them with things that are being sold in the store. And if it's something already priced in the store, it's really easy to make an invoice because I just look for that item and then just put it in there. And then they can pay for it with their credit card. And Square is a big enough company that it's nice and secure. It's not like some willy-nilly company, you know. And I do it all from my phone because I have the Square app on my computer to do it. And then when I ship it, we actually ship it through Shopify, but we just the website shipping through. But the payment all goes through Square. That might sound a little boring, but it's good shop information. And we have got to get the shop making more money, so that way we can fund our farmhouse. So I just thought if I started shipping stuff, it would help it. And it's one of those things that if it becomes a problem and it isn't cost effective, then we'll stop shipping from the store. But for now, especially with the holiday season, we're going to capitalize on it and ship as much as we can. And we only charge people about what it costs to ship. I usually add a little bit for packaging, especially for breakables, because we do have to package those very well.
I feel like we took this dresser from a fail to a win. Like, those are looking really cool.
Oh, those are looking much because they're probably bored of listening to me.
Hang on, let me go grab the other two and I'm going to put them in the dresser.
Alright, I'm pulling the comments. Why is it? Sorry. What the heck? What in heck? Hold on. I don't know, it's going the wrong direction. Sometimes technology is not my friend. Hold on.
Alright.
Channel. Videos.
Did you turn your phone off?
No, it was not correct. Okay, let me go back through.
Alright, scooch over that way for a minute.
Rachel says, seems like the hair's got shorter. They don't take care of it. I'm not a good taker care of her. Okay, how much you said you have them? Do you price them differently if you stamp them? If I have a pillow form in them, I usually sell them for about $22.
Okay, so we're gonna have to do some sanding around the edges so that these drawers slide good again. But we prefer just sanding them down so that they have kind of like that fun, worn look rather than just taping them off. Some people, if they're going for a crisper, neater look, will tape them, but we always distress, so. All right, let me get these other two in. Oh, you get the.
Well, now they look about the same color, but that's because this isn't sealed yet.
All right, I will bring them over and show them in just a sec. We'll get you a good close-up where it's not glaring.
Okay, so Carts and Millie, in answer to your question, the app is called Wishlist Plus. That's a Shopify app. So if you have a Shopify store, you can add the app called Wishlist Plus, and that'll create the option for people to create a wish list and email it to people.
This bottom drawer didn't fit well before we painted it. I gotta get it all oiled up.
All right, so take it in close so they can see some of the texture that's on.
Okay, so.
I feel like it needs more distress. I might do a wet distress. Take off some more of the paint.
Okay, but you're in my shot.
Oh, sorry. I'm out of shot now.
All right, so there's the top painted in that darker, well, I guess it's not darker. It's just not been distressed yet. It's just Salty Kiss by itself. And then this is Monet's Garden mixed with Salty Kiss. And then underneath we have Cake Batter, Ocean, and Tavern Green from Farmhouse Finishes.
Terry Chapman says, soaking the brushes in Downy, is it diluted or with water?
I usually do about 50-50 water to Downy. And if it's real bad, I'll just put it in the Downy.
And we use like a Ziploc bag and put them in there. Let's see, I answered that question. Let's see, did I say how much the copper teapot is? Linda, I didn't. I'm not in that room anymore, but if you email LehighShop@JamiRayVintage.com, I can let you know.
So this part here is still not dry. I sanded over it anyway. I just waited until that spot was last. And this will be more closer to the finished color right over here. So it's not a huge contrast, which is what we didn't want, but this is like a deeper forest green, and this is a brighter green color. So I think it works out really well. And once we get the hardware, we've got the old brass hardware to put on here. I have one knob that's broken that I've got to either figure out a new situation for that or see if I can repair it.
So they're mentioning
the pirate ship.
So I will definitely look that up. We do ship cubically through Shopify, and we do actually get a discounted rate through UPS currently. We're trying that out. The bottom drawer looks like Britain. Looks like Great Britain. Oh, over here.
Mm-hmm. We planned that.
I love that. You know, some people look at clouds and they try to see formations, and we're looking at chippy paint and trying to see world maps.
So you can kind of see on the top, all of the little lighter areas here will get that similar look because that's where the old paint wasn't. And then the dark paint, the darker spot over here is where the old paint is.
I'm gonna let this dress off a little bit more, and then I want to seal one of the drawers so that way they can see kind of like what it'll look like once it gets waxed.
Oh, you're wet distressing off a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, you're bringing that cake batter color back through. I hope it doesn't chip more because I think it was just about right.
All right, let that dry, and then I'll get some clear wax on it.
Okay.
Terry said LOL. All right, let's get some clear wax on that.
So same with this, you can kind of see the highs and the lows in the couple little spots where the paint is left. You can see where it's getting a little bubbly there. That's going to give us kind of this same look on the front. And I think once it all pulls together with the hardware, it'll look pretty sweet. Less like a dumpster fire and more like a chippy old piece of furniture. Although Jamie likes the super chippy, makes it look like it's been stored out in the rain. So who knows? We might do more really chippy pieces. Put you back on the tripod so I'm not shaking you guys around. Sorry, we've been doing lots of shaking today. I was not anticipating a shop tour, so I did not have the correct tripod with me.
Oh, we gotta keep it exciting.
Always exciting.
Gotta keep excited while the paint is drying. Alright, I busted out a new wax brush because my wax brush is in sad shape.
Okay.
Well, it needs to dry a little bit.
It's pretty dry. It's just residue from the cleaner.
So you can see where the Monet's Garden is, it's a lot deeper and richer in color, and where the chippy paint is, that's the ocean coming through from the previous paint job. So definitely not a fail because we've got some chippy texture on here we wouldn't get otherwise.
Do we have a video talking about how we became DIY paint retailers? I think we do, but I'd have to go back and look. We've told the story a couple times.
I think if they watch the one where we talk about being
What's the initial investment? I
I
think
have no idea.
I think
it's
you'd
like
have
12 or 1400.
yeah, you'd have to
You'd have to ask
I think it's changed, so you'd have to hit up DIY for that info. Alright, so the wax, oh, there goes your water. We'll have to mop that up later.
Oh, we might want to go pick it up before it all spills.
So the wax will deepen it. I had it there so they could
this-
see the
So
contrast.
this is with wax, and it will actually dry somewhere between this color and that color. Because essentially now the paint is wet. The DIY paint has the most drastic difference more than the milk paint as far as like wet and dry and waxed and not waxed. And sometimes it'll be kind of splotchy. If you wait 24 hours, that's going to change, and then you can buff it out. Make sure you're getting even coats of wax on everything. That's important. And you can buff it with, like, we have a Paint Pixie buffer, but you can also just use a lint-free rag. I have an employee, her name is Kathy, that worked for me, and she is a whiz with a buffer, with a rag, and she gets a really good sheen. The harder you buff your wax, the more of a sheen you can get on there.
All right, so now,
Oh, sorry, I put it out of the way. Now I'll put those back in there and they'll be able to see more of a contrast. It'll still, you guys will have to watch for the finished.
we'll probably finish it today or tomorrow, and we'll show it in community so you guys can see it. And hopefully I can find a knob by then.
Oh yeah, you didn't think we were missing the knobs on the top, so.
Pool. They're like those old pools. They got like 6 parts to them. Oops, I touched the tank.
That's okay.
I almost like it darker like that.
So now this is lightening up. You can kind of see, but it won't be quite that contrasty because, like I said, the Salty Kiss is going to get a lot darker too. So.
Well, I think we saved it, but time will tell. You guys will have to let us know what you think when we
Hold on, let me fix this.
when we show the finished project, when we show the finished picture, because everybody has different taste and likes things differently. But I actually think I like green colors, so I think it turned out really cool.
I can't sit down because it's wet.
It's all wet. All right, well, we'll just stand over here and tell them bye because it's about that time.
I'll fix it.
Oh, you fixed it?
Yeah. I don't want to wet bum. It's cold outside.
It's true. Woke up this morning, it's 21 degrees, which for a snowstorm is surprising, but it's a little early. Like, we don't get real cold here until about January.
Let's see. So the thing, Deanna polling her question about becoming a DIY paint retailer. It all just kind of was happenstance. So I don't think the way we became a retailer is necessarily the way everybody's road to retailership is. I do have to say, unless you have a ton of capital, I wouldn't consider like, oh, I'm going to carry every single brand that Jami Ray Vintage carries. Because I can tell you right now, it's kind of like, have you heard like precept upon precept? I feel like for us, it's been brand upon brand. Like we started with a smaller chalk paint company, then we added Sweet Pickins, then we added DIY paint, Paint Pixie, IOD, and then the stencils. And the reason why it can be difficult to carry all of those products at once is there a significant investment up front, plus you have to have enough money to keep enough stock of every item to keep your customers happy. You don't want to offer so many things that you can only keep a few of each thing that you sell, because people will come in looking for that item, and if you don't have enough in stock, they're going to get really irritated. And you need to make sure that you're pacing yourself in a manner to where you're not making it to where you're in a crunch situation to where you absolutely have to sell all your product or else you're going to go under. That is the way we have built our entire business. We didn't just open a retail shop one day. I see that happen all the time, and I won't mention any names because I don't know if she's on here or not, but there was a business that just went in like under a year ago, just down the street. And I remember when they went in, I was thinking, you haven't really done that much with the business, and you decided to open it. And I just found out, because I drove by the other day, that they were closing their doors.
Oh.
And it could be a myriad of reasons, but as a business owner, it always breaks my heart to see another company go out of business. And I think,
because we know how hard it is to keep the bills paid.
So I think it's really important that you make sure that you have the capital to get started, and you also don't think that you're just going to carry everything overnight, that you build things up and build your customer base, because I think sometimes it looks like things have grown and happened really fast for us, but I've actually been in business selling furniture over 7 years. And so it's been an evolving process, and each time, closer to 8, yeah. It's been over time as things have come up. I've weighed the opportunity. I didn't open up I sold for like 4 years out of my front room of my house, 4 or 5 years, until I came here to be at Molly's, and then I was here 2 years before we took it over as a shop. So it's just kind of been one thing.
Well, yeah, it's taken us 4 years to build up our inventory, even on the brands we carry. And we did, when we first started the website, we had a little bit of stock on hand, but we did what's called just-in-time shipping. We would get the orders, and then we would take that money and order the paint and then ship it out, because a lot of times it wasn't sitting on the shelf. It is now, unless the actual manufacturer is on back order or behind. We have the stuff. Usually we have about a month's worth of inventory in back stock now. But
it's taken us years to build it up.
It's not been an overnight thing. So
we reinvested, and we would slowly, like every time I ordered extra stuff for inventory. And that's how I built it up, just little by little. Like every time I'd sell something, I'd take a little bit of profit, and then I'd take some of that money and I would buy more paint, and then we just kind of built from there.
So moral of the story, if you're just starting out, find what you love the most or what you think you can sell the most, the fastest, and start with that, and then build on that as you get more capital.
Use the products that you're selling on your videos and in your booth space. And even the shop, if you guys saw our shop tour when we first opened, we have way more inventory now. We didn't go out and spend $50,000 on inventory. We used what we had, and we got scrappy, and then as things sold, then we've been spending more money on inventory and building from there. So it's definitely not something that happens overnight. I don't know if we're going to add a transfer. We'll see what it looks like when it's done. I actually probably will, and this is another business tip right now. Those transfers are hot, hot, hot. And so if I feel like one will look good on here, I'll absolutely use it, because not only will it help sell the dresser, but it'll help sell the transfer.
I think Fern's around the bottom.
I feel like that's too much green.
It's my vote. All right, guys, hopefully you have an amazing Thanksgiving and good Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Small Business Saturday sales. So hopefully the tips help. Go paint all the things.
If you're still on here, heads up, we may be offering in December, we're working out all the details, a higher tier of channel membership. So there will still be this channel membership with all the same things that we've been offering, but we're looking to do more business coaching and interaction, and it's going to be a little bit more involved. We've got an employee that's going to help us with it, and it'll be a much higher tier with some more specialized business coaching.
It's going to be more of like a one-on-one
No, don't be saying one-on-one.
situation.
They can be calling me at midnight, so.
No, not like that. But like if you have very specific problems, we'll be addressing those instead of just trying to put a blanket over it.
Yeah.
And hopefully whatever we said helps your specific problem.
Yeah. So we're gonna, and having more motivation, we're gonna start a group. But anyways, just looking ahead, that's going to be in December. We're waiting to get through Black Friday before we make any announcements on that. And one more question. It says stencil question, when will you have another release? Our next stencil release, look for that sometime in January.
We've got some fun, exciting things coming on that.
Yeah, so January. All right, love you guys. Thanks for joining us and being channel members and helping support us.
Catch you guys later.